Greetings, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show. Quite a lot to talk about today. And of course, we will most definitely talk about the manager situation, some news, and then we go into the match review, preview proper. I hope you're all doing well. So sit back and relax and let's get into the show. Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. I know it is something that is a very, very difficult to do at this point, given what we're going through, and a lot of us are not excited. Given the individual or the fact that we're hearing Mauricio Pochettino will most likely become the next Chelsea Football Club manager. I haven't given up that things can change. But if at the end of the day he ends up emerging as the manager, new manager of the club, permanent manager of the club, I will support him because Chelsea is the entity that I support. If I don't do that, things could get worse for my club. And the first person in the chart is Santiago Mono Santiago. Big up to you. I hope you're doing well. And the vibe, big up, brother. It's been a minute. Just to let me know that you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. Always nice to see you. And Contender FC, I'm guessing that is Vivel. I'm guessing that is that Vivel FC or Rahayu, Briani Rahayu, aka 343 Dilemma. I hope you're doing well, brother. Always nice to see you. And here he says, Hi, I'm Contender FC. The club I recognize no longer desire to win, only desires to be a contender. First, my name. Yeah, first, my name. I understand. And I do know how you feel. So I totally understand. That's the only thing I can say right now. Brentford, we are looking to win. We're looking to contend against a against a well prepped side, well drilled side, well oiled machine. Let me just remix that a bit for you. Whatever happens at the end, we contend. Only that matters. Wow. You sounded like you've given up totally, but I'll say don't give up. Let's give whoever becomes the coach, the manager of the club, a chance. And the guy in question, he isn't that bad. It could have been worse had we gone for Gallardo. It could have been worse or had we gone for somebody, the Celtic manager that we heard about. It could have been worse. Even with Vincent Company, it could have been worse. There are lots of other options that we've been linked with that could have been worse. If Thomas Frank, could have been worse for Thomas Frank. And we've seen worse. We had Graham Potter for the sake, for the sake of let me say if that makes you feel better. Who else do we have here? A good coach, just busy with school. School is important, brother. And unfortunately, you weren't here when we did the student giveaway. It's a monthly thing. Anytime between 15th, 16th, that's when we do it. Sorry you missed that one. Hopefully, you'll be available for the next one. And the last one was $100 giveaway. Let's see what else we have here. Yep, you're right. I've given up on this process. Yeah, you sound like it. Even you were so, I could say, you were so not happy yesterday. You decided you're not going to be part of the stream yesterday, and I understand. A lot of us are, a lot of lots of Chelsea fans are frustrated, and when they speak, you could sense it that yeah, frustration everywhere, and yeah, so negative in some cases that you go, wow, is that how bad it's gotten? So let's get into talking about what we have lined up already. The first item here will be Chelsea weighing up a Joao Felix's future with incoming head coach Mauricio Pochettino set to be key to whether the club up to keep him. They are considering whether to move for him again and could opt to extending his loan. buy another season. I think if they try to keep him to extend the loan, I think Atletico Madrid will not be interested in such deal. They know he's a good player. They know they can get a sizable fee for him. And if you ask me, um, the fact that we're considering, we're not too sure whether we want him or not, despite all the stuff we've heard in a month ago or so, that something to the effect of we're serious. We already started the groundwork to sign him permanently. I knew it was going to be difficult, given how much they're asking, and given the fact that the club's priority. I know we'll sell a lot of players in the summer, but the half of you could say half of the money we'll be getting will be going into the club's effort to balance the books. Then we'll try to sign a midfielder and a number nine, not really a hybrid number nine like him. Maybe should I call it a hybrid number nine, non-traditional number nine that can't that should be able to drop deep and participate in the play if the ball isn't getting to him. So yeah, I knew it was going to be difficult. If they sign him on a permanent, I'd be really, really surprised, and I'm serious about that. If you're watching, if you haven't, please keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. I really appreciate that. Yep, let's see what we have here. And if you're a moderator, please keep reminding the people to keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. And I hope you're living the blue life, no matter what's going on with our beloved club. I heard Pochettino is fond of Levi Colwell, which is very good. He loves young players, and I'm sure he's going to love what's his name, Lewis Hall too, who's a fine player. I think the team is actually perfectly set up for him, given that we have lots of young players, and he likes that quite a lot. But yeah, thank you, Andrew Phillips. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. Coach, remember you said you will shave your head if Pochettino becomes manager. Just show me where I said that. I do not remember saying that. Nope, I didn't say that. Because if anything, was it about 4 or 5 days ago, we were analyzing the reports that were out there when we had one report saying that one board member, at least one, Christopher Vivell, and at least one board member are the ones pushing up for Nagelsmann. But in the case of Mauricio Pochettino, the board members and nearly everyone in the club, I think it was phrased to the something similar to collectively prefer Mauricio Pochettino. That's when I know, oh yeah, it's looking like he's actually the favorite and not Julian Nagelsmann. And it turned out that was the case a few days later. But that's by the way, we move on from that. A big up to my bro, the blue triple game. I haven't forgotten the brown envelope thing we talked about. I just haven't figured out a way to do it. Maybe because, I'm the account owner, so I just can't do it, but I'll find a way. So relax, bro. Just to inform you that your Potterround bus tickets are still valid on Potterround buses too. He's gone. What else do you want from the man? Leave him alone. At least let him enjoy the payoff, if you get what I mean. But that's, by the way, always nice to see you, brother. Much love to you. And thank you for always entertaining us, making the stream very very enjoyable. Tabeho CFC, my brother from the Medieval land, much love to you. You know I love you, brother. Big up, coach, and everyone in the chat. Please keep dropping the likes on the stream. And if you can, share the stream on your Twitter, via your Twitter account, or whatever social media platform you have presence. That will go a long way for the show. Thank you so much for always finding the time to join the show. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, people. Yes, keep doing that. So I want to get your thought. If you're already in the chat, what are your thoughts with regard to Felix? To me, I would say it would be a signing that doesn't make sense right now. I know it's a good thing to have a very big sport, but you could say financially, I don't think we'll be ready to spending that much money on a single player. While we still have areas such as the midfield area where we've heard Pochettino himself is asking for the club to sign a midfielder, and I'm sure probably the club's preference will be what's his name, will be Moises Caicedo of Brighton. Even though I'm still asking the question, why aren't they looking at Ismail Benessa of AC Milan, who, even though he's extended his stay at the club, his buyout clause, release clause is around 15 million euros. Except maybe the problem may well be the date at which it will start being active, or even I wouldn't say Barilla because Barilla isn't traditionally a PM. He's more of a CM, but he would be an excellent addition to our squad. And I'm hearing that Inter Milan are willing to sell him. But more importantly, your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts with regards to the fact, yeah, what the club has sounded like. They're not too sure what to do. And this is not really because he's a bad player, because it wouldn't make any sort of sense to isolate any player's performance from the Chelsea squad because we underperformed collectively as a unit. So here it says Chelsea are weighing up, weighing up. This is contradicting what we've heard in the past about a month ago, which says clearly that we'll start laying, that the club, that Chelsea have started laying the groundworks in an effort to sign Joao Felix. Now it's saying, yep, weighing up Joao Felix's future with incoming head coach Mauricio Pochettino set to be key to whether the club opt to keep him. They are considering whether to move for him. For a second loan, I'd say, no, I don't see Atletico Madrid doing that. He's a player that a lot of clubs want. Arsenal wanted him. Manchester United wanted him. And I'm sure if they see the opportunity to come for him again, they do that because he's a fine player. Let's see what else we have here. Says Felix, it doesn't make sense. If you want to win, if you want to contend and be happy with just Ben Felix is the signing to have. Wow, this is how bad it's gotten with Rahayu. But I understand where you're coming from. If you're watching people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 19 likes already while it was just 22 minutes into the show. We made it to 100 plus yesterday, and that was excellent. So please keep dropping the likes and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So I'm waiting to hear your take on whether you want the club to sign Felix or not. I like a pocketing very much. I'm guessing you wanted to type Pochettino, and I'm sure your phone didn't recognize what that is. And then I tried to suggest to you what it means, what he thinks you were typing, and suggested pocketing. I know very much you meant Pochettino. You mean Pochettino, but that's by the way. We move on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm waiting to hear more of your thoughts, what you have to say with regards to the possibility of Chelsea signing Joao Felix. To me, it's a difficult one. It's not going to be easy. They're not going to get him for anything less than Atletico Madrid is willing to let him go for. The suggestion I'm hearing online is that we're willing to add player plus cash to make it work. But let's see how that goes. What else do we have here? We can always go back to it, but I'm waiting to hear more of your thoughts on Joao Felix. And this one here is with regards to Conor Gallagher. It's on Borussia Dortmund's list as they are monitoring his situation, but nothing advanced at this stage. No concrete talks about his future at Chelsea is open. I understand he could leave in the summer, and the valuation is around 50 million euros. So I'm going to come back to that again, but let's hear what you have to say with Felix. In the case of Conor Gallagher, I think given who was the way Mauricio Pochettino operates, he may well be his type of player, a player he will maybe would like to he would like to keep on the club, given that he likes the high press approach. Gallagher may well be a player he comes in and makes him turns him into a prime or even better Dele Alli. But let's get done with the talks on Joao Felix. What else do we have here? I like Pochettino. And like I said, I think that's what I believe you wanted to say. Yes, people keep smashing the like button. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. We got to 100 yesterday, and it was a brilliant show. Tabaho says, I like Felix, and maybe under a coach, he can do more. But again, I would like the club to get their priorities first before we attempt to sign him or do another loan deal with obligation to buy. yep, let's prioritize our signings. Let's not just sign players for the sake of it or for the sake of we know they have the potential to become world class. And we have priorities. If we sort the priorities out, then the others will be secondary. I think it would then make sense. Felix right now to me is just good to have. Let's see what we have here. Felix is not worth it. You have anything north of 70, 80, I would say it's not worth it. Big up to you, Bobby. Nice to have you on the panel. Gallagher for 15 million, yeah, he can go. So we get back to Gallagher. I want to get Bobby's thoughts with regards to what we're seeing on the screen here, with regards to the possibility of the club signing Felix. Felix at the moment is good to have. It's good to have a big spot, but not paying that much money for a player. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So, Bobby, if you're there, I'm waiting to hear your thoughts. What do you make of it? And big up to you. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, big up, coach. Yeah, coach. I think I believe they're going to do a deal for Felix.
Hmm.
Um, I hear that there's a possible kind of expensive loan option
Hmm.
for the whole of next season.
Hmm.
I think they do want to keep him. Now, is it wise, bearing in mind we don't have Champions League football? Well, if he was going to move permanently, it would be okay because you're not just playing for next season; you're playing for the season after.
Hmm.
But I think they like him. I think they will try and keep him. Of course, if it gets too expensive, it's an untenable situation. But with Diego Simone staying at Atletico, I think a deal could be done. Now, would it mean the squad is too big? Not necessarily. With some of the players um, that they're looking at offloading,
Hmm.
that will take care of that. The only thing there would be, do we have too many players of similar ilk in the same position? Well,
Hmm.
it'll be up to Pochettino to know how to make them more flexible. And
Hmm.
knowing Chelsea's past injury record, I don't think you can have too many players in any position at Chelsea.
Hmm. Here's where my concern lies in this case is that there's a chance that club's priority may well include balancing the books, which I think it will be. Yeah. Um, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that would be issue? The club's financial situation could come into play, and that may well deter us from signing him.
Yeah, there has to be an element of balancing the books
Hmm.
in business this summer, for sure. But I think the issue of the books is more of a concern to the fans than the club, than the people actually balancing the books. They know what they're doing, they know what the rules are, they know who they want to sell. People talk of, oh, sell this player, sell this player. Sometimes you have to think, well, who's going to buy them? And will they buy them for a reasonable amount of money that
Hmm.
means anything? Players in this current environment are not that easy to sell, especially when clubs know that you need and want to sell. So you need to be very careful, looking like you're desperate to get rid of, get rid of, get rid of. And so I understand to some extent this strategy of showing, oh, I'm prepared to keep my big squad, because it takes away the desperation. But yeah, they will look at it. It's only common sense that they have to consider the books for sure. I mean, somebody quite intelligently, I don't know whether it was on this stream or another stream, or I was sleeping, perhaps hearing it through one ear, but somebody already told me that they've done some of the buying and selling already to
Hmm.
offload the cost of Lukaku. If that's already happened,
It was who did the mathematics for us? It was JC
yeah,
in the
it was
chat.
on your stream, yeah.
Yeah, it was it in the chat. Yeah.
Now, if, and I don't see how, because a lot of the buying and selling, there's been a lot of fluidity as far as that's concerned. But I
Hmm.
think it's that sort of thinking that will govern the transfer market. But of course, players will be sold for sure. Like for example, I hear Pochettino wants to keep Mason Mount. Well, if that's happening, then it's highly unlikely we'll keep.
Gallagher.
Well, not Gallagher, um, um, because I have a feeling Gallagher is just the type of player that Pochettino will like. Joao Felix. But then, yet again, Pochettino is a Latin man. He understands the Latin players, and
Hmm.
he may like Joao Felix. He may feel, there's something to be done. Don't get me wrong, Joao Felix is a very good player. Um,
Yeah, we know that quite well. I'm just saying things from the club's financial situation currently, the losses and all that. Even though it will not affect us in terms of FFP, it wouldn't make sense to keep spending without balancing the books, or maybe just reducing it.
I,
Should I call
I
it
I
deficit?
think
But
the
go ahead.
club has accepted that perhaps for about 10 years there's not going to be any targeted profits, especially this first year. I mean, it hasn't even been a year. There's still
Hmm.
investment to be made. There's 2 billion on a stadium alone, not to mention the cost of playing away from home. So there's
Hmm.
huge expenditures to still be done. So I don't think the money spent on one player is going to be giving them sleepless nights, especially if they feel that this is a player that can help with the success on the pitch. And success on the pitch is down to several players, not just one player. So I don't know. I really don't know. But asking me personally, would I like Joao Felix? Of course I would. If we can afford the luxury, of course. If Pochettino feels, because it's clearly going to be in him, if he feels he can utilize him within the squad without, um, you know, having players getting frustrated by lack of game time, especially players of his quality,
Hmm.
um, fine. But if he comes in and says, well, looking at everything with Nkunku, with Mount, fine. To be honest with you, we could be losing Pulisic, and that opens the door for Joao Felix. Hakim Ziyech
Yeah.
could be going. That opens a door for Joao Felix. And personally, I would rather have Joao Felix than Raheem Sterling. I don't know
Yeah.
if they'll get rid of Sterling, but I
It's
wish
going to be
they
difficult
would.
given
I
his
really
salary.
do. Sorry?
It's going to be difficult to find who will agree to be paying him his weekly
Yeah,
salary.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's another thing, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why you most likely haven't sold some of the players that are on our books that we wanted to sell. In the case of Christian Pulisic, by now he could have been gone. It's just that he was injured because you can't sell an injured player. I'll come back to you again, Bobby Gallagher for 15 million. Yeah, he can go. That's good value, but there's a chance. I don't think the club would be in a rush to make any decisions with regards to what players they're going to sell or what players they're going to keep. Um, if Mason Mount, if it appears to them that he will most likely leave, they will decide to keep Gallagher. He's a perfect Pochettino type of player, given his high pressing approach. But let's see what happens. I am back. Simeon Okuku, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And all those in the chat, you people are absolute legends. We have 24 likes. Let's keep getting it up so that we can get to 100 as soon as possible. And please do me a favor. I know it's difficult. If you're watching, if you haven't, if you can, share the stream on whatever social media platform where you have presence so that more people can join us. And the more people join us here, the more fun it will be. And also, just quickly, if you want to become a member, the link is pinned at the very top there. It helps us let me say, facilitate our plan of giving away to students every month. The Stay in School giveaway project. I think it's something you'd like to see and something I really wanted to do. And thank goodness we started doing that. I know it will go a long way for a lot of people. Yes, if you're watching also, we know some of you are watching but are not able to join the show. Thank you. You provide so much value, even though you're not in the chat, so to speak. But you're watching. Watching alone does go a long way. If you can, please do us one more tiny bit of favor. Take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Welcome back, Okuku. Always nice to see you. Hit the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes to go along with Conor Gallagher. I like the kid, but if I get a good offer, I would gamble and sell him. The whole thing comes down to what the incoming manager wants to do. Like I said, if it is Poch, that's the likelihood he would opt to keep Gallagher because he is a perfect type of player. Is Nkunku joining us real or fake? It's real. It's been look. I think I did a short video on talking about how the Leipzig president gave it away. Has left them. It's signed and sealed. The only thing left is just for him to join us. Um, if real, if real, there's like again, if there's Nkunku versus Felix versus Harvest, then now Bali says he wants Mount to stay. So four players for one. Yeah, AM and striking positions. Here's the thing. Is that's just what's that short form for? I'm not sure what you're representing with the two letters there. But I get where you're coming from. There will be those players that you think playing the same position. I think Mason Mount. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. So that's a legit concern, really. But let's see what happens. I think the club will consider that. There's a chance of the whole thing we're hearing from Todd Bowley may well be just a PR. And he's a PR match, and he knows exactly what he's doing. But it's a difficult one. Mason staying is very difficult. Him leaving is he's more likely to leave than stay, but there's still a chance he stays. Let's say contender is real. Let's see what else we have here. What do we have here? Does Felix even fit a Poch? I think he does. Yep, I think he does. Look, he's been quite unlucky. We've seen commitment from him, but he's just been quite unlucky. Without hitting the woodwork, I think he'd have more goals than he has right now for us. What else do we have? Attacking midfield. Okay, second striker. Okay, yeah. But Mount shouldn't be in that. But you just mix it up. But I understand what you mean. Oh no, we are PRFC then. Yeah, there's a chance that's the case. That's just me speculating and not sure. A big up to my bro, Glenn. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining the show panel. This is Big Up Panel and Chart up to Clear Lake Football Club. Wow, that's how bad people feel these days. IBC, I don't know if you're there. If you're there, I want to get your thought with regards the club's, let's say, intent with Joao Felix. It doesn't look like they're that serious about him anymore. That is, if we're to believe what we're looking at on the screen. But if you're not ready to speak, that's fine by me. I can move on and come back to you later.
Yeah, Coach. I was.
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, let Bobby go on it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think Bobby has spoken about Felix, except if he wants to add something. Go ahead, Bobby.
No. I heard. I kind of lost connection, and then I reconnected. Then I heard, "Are you not ready to speak?" So I thought.
Okay. You thought I was. No, I was talking to IBZ. I want to get his thought with regards to the Joao Felix news. Then I'll get you. I'll get him on the Conor Gallagher news, and I'll come back to you.
Yeah, big up IBZ.
Yes, Bobby, man. How you doing, man?
How's it going?
Good.
Where's my brother Roger? This is not good. Come on.
Yeah, I'll check on him. I didn't do that yesterday. I hope he's well.
We're not complete. We got to have Roger, IBZ, then I feel good.
And DJ sometimes. Yeah, and go DJ, ahead. IBZ, your thoughts on the news.
It's Chelsea are weighing up Joao Felix's future. Yeah, I guess it's all down to this incoming manager we will get.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
How about other factors such as the club's financial situation, the fact that
maybe
I know we can do it, we can even sign him with that, but we cannot be compounding the whole situation because we want him, and it's a player. He plays in an area we have a lot of, you can say 3-4 players who are capable of playing there. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, I just think it depends. He's a lone player. I have my reservations about a certain player coming in, but it'll be a bit congested if he stays, and we get quite a few attacking midfielders in that role. It will all depend on Pochettino planning And
Hmm.
can they afford Joao Felix? Can we afford it? I don't know. I really don't know at this point. We need to sell, so I think he will go back to Atletico Madrid. Maybe we'll wait during the summer, go in the offer. Did we have a? Is there an option to buy? Is there some sort of clause? I don't know. Is there some sort
No,
of
at
first
this
option,
moment, I don't think there's an option.
or is it just a loan?
He himself did say a while ago, if we want to sign him, then we'll start talking with that. There's no clause
Yeah,
that says, okay, we have to buy him, or yeah.
yeah. I think I would like to believe that he will leave. He'll go back to his club,
Hmm.
and then we'll bring in someone else or have someone else come through. I don't really see him staying. I really don't. I don't see him staying at all.
The
Yeah.
Yeah,
only concern
it's
with
not that
him,
simple, really.
the only concern with him is that he's the kind of player that clubs that have Champions League football, like Arsenal, Newcastle, maybe even Man United, will probably try and tempt him, which
And
would,
we'll be
which,
attracted to him.
oh, for sure, which
Mhm.
is
Yeah,
not
hundred
really
percent.
great. But as you know, if he's an overload, we need to be careful of that because we will only have domestic football. So it's a balance. It's a balance between maintaining a formidable squad and
Hmm.
maintaining and keeping a lid on it such that it's not too much that you don't have a player like that getting frustrated at not getting at least adequate game time.
Yeah, thank you so
Hundred
much for
percent.
that. IDC, while I'm still with you, go ahead if you wanted to add something with regards to the John Felix stuff.
No, no, nothing, nothing.
Okay, just, I'll be back to you, IBC, in about 10 seconds or so. Let me just catch up with what we have here. This here says, just give me a second. This here says Felix is a good player, but he has a lot to improve on compared to Nkunku, who carries the ball better, assists beautifully, and scores goals. If we keep Felix, we need Havertz to go and two other attackers. Wow, some suggestion right there. But let's see what the club does. More importantly, I think, like we've mentioned before, the whole thing comes down to what the incoming manager wants to do because he have a say on who goes in and who stays. Where's DJ? DJ is always busy for him. Weekdays he doesn't usually have time to join the show except during the break. Where's Rodrigo? Rodrigo also is a piece of man. Whenever time allows, I know he'd join. But Rodrigo probably will be very, very frustrated right now. He says he will never, he's never going to support, he's never going to support Pochettino.
Yeah, until he
Olupol,
starts winning.
Niger, bro, always nice to see you. Good morning. Just what is the Chelsea situation? It's what makes Felix rusty at the moment. That was why I said given the fact that the team overall underperformed. It wouldn't make any sort of sense to single out to isolate a single player's situation and start saying they're bad or not. No, I wouldn't do that until we have what a manager who we believe is capable enough. Then, if under that manager a particular player underperforms, then there's a chance we jump to the conclusion that player isn't for us. That's how I usually see it. I don't like going as far as saying a player is bad, because I've seen players be the worst player in world football, then become, you know, a world class player under another manager. A perfect example is Antonio Rudiger, if you understand what I mean. Coach Felix joins us for preseason, or does his preseason begin with Madrid? I'm not sure. If we want to keep him, if we want to sign him on a permanent, I think we'll get things sorted out before we start preseason. That's
Nah,
what
he
I
For
think.
leaves at the
sure,
end of his loan,
He
and
leaves
which
at
for
will
the end of
sure.
obviously
this
be
loan, right?
beginning of July, ended of June. So
Yeah.
Okay.
the 30th of June,
Unless we
1st of
keep him,
July.
he won't
Yeah,
come for
he
preseason.
won't be the new preseason with us now.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for answering that. And this one here, assuming he joins. Oh, yeah. If he joins, then yeah, he started preseason with us. You mean Dele Ali? That was the player that came to mind then when I was talking. On one hand, it's his first year. Premier League football needs adapting. On the other hand, he's sloppy. Some tricks up his sleeves. But overall, he doesn't move me. Here's the thing. I think it's easy to actually forget that Felix is just 23. It's easy because he's been on the same that is on the biggest stage for a while now since Atletico Madrid signed him and paid nearly 100 million euros for him. And given that price tag, plus we've been hearing his name for years now, you think he'd be in his late 20s, but he's still just 23. And that's just the truth. So I think he's a player. If we're signing him, if we decide to get him, I will not be worried, honestly, because I know he will come good. And with a manager like, if we end up getting Pochettino as our manager, I think he'll bring out the best in him. Kembo, it's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Hello, coach. I don't think we should sign Felix. Let him come on loan. We have Nkunku coming. I don't think Atletico will be willing to let you have him on a loan one more year. He is good, and there are no shortage of clubs willing vying for his signature. United wanted him, Arsenal wanted him. Yeah, and there are other clubs too. And I heard, I think Barcelona, but Barcelona right now, given their financial situation, I don't think they'd be looking to sign him. But my point is there won't be shortage of clubs willing to sign him if Atletico Madrid says no, you're not keeping him on loan again. You say that you pay up or forget it. The owners should be mindful of appointing this manager. I know you're referencing Mauricio Pochettino, and when you say that, you have to elaborate. You can't just say you don't want this to happen and not elaborate. We want to hear your thoughts. Yeah, Hazard at 23 is fire. Yeah, it's different for every player. It wasn't when at Spain, Felix wasn't bad. He was doing well for Atletico Madrid. If you're there, IPC, with regards to the possibility of Conor Gallagher being one of the players that will be sold in the summer, from what we've heard, Borussia Dortmund are interested in him. But I don't think, just as every other player, the club will not be in a hurry to sell him. It will be down to the incoming manager. Plus, Gallagher is Mauricio Pochettino's type of player, and he's still young too. He's a player that tomorrow can become twice as better as he is right now. But IBC, your thoughts, what you make of the news?
Yeah, I saw it. Um, Again, everything depends on the
The incoming
incoming head
manager.
coach,
Hmm.
what he wants, how he assesses, how he prepares, who's in his plans, who is not. Squad's big. Who does he feel? It all depends on who he sees fit. But again, the rumor doesn't seem unrealistic, if that makes sense. I mean, I
Hmm.
could see him there at Dortmund. I could see him doing a good job. He'll probably
And become even
kick
better there.
he'll probably kick Emre Can out the starting lineup.
Hmm.
All possibilities could be said when you go to a team like Dortmund or in the Bundesliga. Your football is guaranteed, your exposure to top level,
Hmm.
consistent football and Champions League, and he will develop. That's 100%. And a breath of fresh air, man. Get out of England. England's very toxic, man. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a win-win for him, man. Just go and enjoy your football. But I don't know. Everything depends on Pochettino. Like you said just now, with the club in a hurry to sell him. I mean, he's homegrown. It's all profit, but I don't know. Conor Gallagher can be a good squad player. He doesn't need to be sold. He really doesn't. But yeah,
Yeah, I think with improvements, he can actually be more than just a sport player. He has eyes up for goals, and he's a hustle overall and very young. Can overall he can if he improves on his composure, I think believe me, he'll be a much better player, and that comes with age. As as he gains more experience, I think he becomes more an even better player. Let's see what we have here. Fabrizio just said the deal for Poch is at the final stages and waiting for contract to be offered soon. Okuku, thank you for that information. Bobby, your thoughts with regards to the case of Conor Gallagher. I know you like him so much, and I do like him too, and he's still young, and people forget that. They think they expect him to be playing like he's a finished product. I don't think he's not even close to the finish. He has lots of potential, but needs lots of coaching. I don't just want a manager that will feel them because of his industry and then not help him improve as a player. But your thoughts, Dortmund are interested in it, and the club may well be tempted to sell him, given the fact that if we sell him, everything, all the money we get from his sale will go into the club's pocket because he's homegrown. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you know how much I like Conor Gallagher.
Hmm.
I go back such a long way in football that, I know the value of functional players alongside brilliant players. I look at the 1986 Argentinian team that won the World Cup. There was Diego Maradona ripping up trees,
Hmm.
but for the people like Shaga and Olaji Kacher, that team would not have been anywhere near what it was. At the back they had Jose Luis Brown. I mean, they had a lot of functional players. That's what people fail to understand, which enhanced the brilliance of Maradona. Look, I don't know what the club want to do with Connor. You talk of selling and getting money. Well, how much money can a club like Dortmund actually pay for Connor? I can assure you they won't break the bank. I think if Pochettino decides to keep him, it would be a good decision. There is a lot that Connor can do. He doesn't have to be the best player in the team, but he's a workhorse. He's got so much endeavor that he can develop into something very special within the team. And
Hmm.
people talk about Conor Gallagher as if he doesn't get game time. This guy has played a lot of games and a lot of high profile games. I think he started the both legs of the Champions Leagues against Real Madrid. So he's not starved of game time like that. He's quite happy with his game time, not to mention his devotion to the club. Personally, I would keep him. It would be a hard sell for me if I was looking for players to sell, I would be hard pushed to sell him. I'll look around before I sell him. In fact, I like Ruben a lot too, but if it's a toss up between him and Ruben, I'll be tempted to keep him ahead of Ruben. That's how much I rate him. I don't know. I have a feeling Pochettino won't sell him. And I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
because he could say he's Poch is a perfect type of player.
Yeah, he's very functional, and any coach that deals with youngsters will like your functional players. I'm hoping that they announce this thing this week and let this guy watch the team for the last 6 games, start to get a feel of what the players are about, because that's where he will be able to make his decisions on who goes and who stays. Yes, a couple will go, but for me, it has to be the obvious ones, your Pulisic, your Aubameyangs, the ones we know want to go. I'm not even sure, and of course Ziyech, of course. I'm not even sure Pulisic would really want to go, but because of his injury record and he's not signing an extension and all these little dramas, I'm not sure Pochettino will tolerate that, and he might
And the
decide to
club will
let him
want to
go.
cash in. They won't want him to leave on a free.
Exactly, exactly. So, he is a good player, but that is a departure that one can kind of tend to tolerate,
Hmm.
especially if it means that there's room for Joao Felix. If it means that, then he'll definitely be out the door.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Bobby. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, I've read that one here. This one, I predict Brentford a 3-0 win. Okay, let's see if it happens. It's your choice there. People forgot what squad players are the 122 superstars at our club, which is not even possible. But you can, I understand where you're coming from. And Gallagher, I think he's capable of being more than just a squad player, but he needs a lot of coaching. He's still very young. Who all do you think will be leaving, regardless of whoever is happening? We're not going to do we're just talking about Gallagher because it's on in the news that he may well be leaving the club. That Borussia Dortmund are interested in signing him. So we're not doing it to keep or sell today. So we'll get into that once the new manager is announced, and we'll have a good idea his type of player. So we're not going to do that today, if you understand what I mean. And if you're watching, please keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 37 likes. But I know we should be doing better than that. Let's get it at 250 and shoot for 100 as soon as possible. Ghana Charleston says, good morning, coach. Please, can you watch the interview Thiago did after after our defeat to Real Madrid? It's time the owners make profound decision. A manager Yeah, they're closing in on one, given what we've heard. If that changes today, we'll find out. But good suggestion there. Ziyech, I most likely will leave. He was already on his way out. If Poch decides to keep him, I'd be surprised. Bobby goes back that far. He has Chelsea home kits in the black and white. Oh my goodness, that's a good one there. Gallagher as an inverted wing back. You reckon that works out, Bobby? No,
Coach,
I'm not. I'm not going to play him as a wing back.
Coach,
Um,
can I
yeah,
totally digress just for 2 seconds?
yeah. Go ahead.
I posted something on Twitter which I thought of you while I posted it actually. It was a match that somebody sent me. I think it was 1949. Don't worry, lads, I was nowhere to be seen at that time. I don't even think my parents even thought about me. But it was a game between, I think you've got Nigerian heritage, haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a game between Nigeria and England, played just outside Liverpool. And their entire team played the game barefoot. They didn't have football boots,
yeah. I
which,
think you said it in the group. I just haven't watched it, but I'll check it out.
yeah, and they won 5-2.
Hmm.
As astonishing, extraordinary thing. It just goes to show, right, two things. Football and the best footballers are always made from those that are somewhat disadvantaged. You know, if you compass like Pele sort of came out around that time. There was probably a young kid around that time playing barefoot in Brazil, and look at the sort of player he turned out to be. So, you know, sometimes giving these players everything just doesn't really produce that hunger and ability for them to hone in on their craft and
Hmm.
produce things like that. I don't know why a game like that isn't more advertised, because I'm going to show that next Saturday when I go and watch the under nines. And I'll tell these kids, you see what happens, see what these guys were able to do. You know, you're so pampered that you don't know what you have. Sorry to digress, but I just thought I had to
No,
raise
no,
it.
no worries. That's fine. Gallagher as an, I don't think that will work. No. Big up to you too, Munoz. I think you said that before, but always nice to see you. Let's see what we have. A big up Kachila in the panel, Chelsea all the way. Big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. And my bro Abdurrahman says, good morning, coach. Gallagher is a decent player but lacks a technical ability. Mount does much better. And for FFP, needs to sell many Deadwood players and some homegrown. Unfortunately, some homegrown will leave, but I'm still thinking Gallagher is not going to be on that list. But let's see what happens. Poch plays possession, but not really. I wouldn't say he played possession football. But Poch plays a possession-based football. From what I see, Gallagher cannot play that type of football. So I wouldn't say Pochettino plays possession-based football. IBC, do you think that's the case?
Be, I'm gonna lie to you. The last time I studied a Poch game was when he beat us at the bridge and Dele Alli scored a couple goals. Um, I won't say it's possession. It's positive. It's certainly positive.
More direct.
Um,
They don't keep the ball too much.
it's a little bit direct. I know that
Mm.
he likes to use his wingers. Um, he gets it through the middle in terms of having someone like a Christian Eriksen who can come deep, pick up the ball, and also distribute from the middle as well. So having a player of that caliber to suit his philosophy will be very influential for his way of getting the job done. Um, Possession, yeah, he might. I mean, he might play a little bit of that possession,
No,
but I certainly
honestly,
don't
for me,
see a
not to the
pressure.
extent that I would say he's into possession football. But go
I
ahead.
would. I mean, possession is. It depends on how you look at possession football. But he's certainly not a tiki-taka style, nor that
No,
of
it's
a
not.
Jurgen
His
press.
team doesn't keep the ball for the sake of it.
No, and he's not a Jurgen press type
Mhm.
player. I mean, he may want his strikers to press from the forward or his attackers to press from the forward, in which obviously PSG you're not gonna get Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi to do that because they're just not going to do that. They're going to do what they want. So obviously that may be something that he may want to work with our squad. But yeah, I could see him playing a little bit of possessive football, which I don't mind. I really don't mind. At
No,
this
it's
point,
not. We're just trying
no,
to
no,
be
100%.
to
I
recall
get what
his
you're saying.
his preferred approach. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I think again, our squad is very big, and for him to implement his own ideology by his way or the highway, I think will
Hmm.
be detrimental. So I think we'll need to assess the squad and see how they all fit into his balance and his approach, and try to find the balance of how we can get the best out of them, and also implement his tactics. So maybe not necessarily what he was used to at Tottenham or even PSG, but maybe a different approach to make sure that he can get the best out of the players because there's a lot of them and a lot of players that don't suit his style of play under the previous three managers, I would say, and that might suit under him. So it'll be interesting to see how he does that. I'm here for it. New approach, um, possession based, more a little bit more direct. Yeah, I'm here for it. So we'll see how it happens. But I'll have to wait till he comes in, assess the squad, get a striker, get a goalkeeper, and then we take it from there.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Poch plays a position. I wouldn't say, but that I get it. Good question. What is Poch's play? Wing play, route play. His thing. I would say it's
Yeah,
balanced, really.
yeah, it's
Because
more balanced. Yeah,
yeah, he drills his team so well. If you frustrate him on the flanks, goals can come centrally and passes can come centrally, and he's into long balls too. So he doesn't like wasting too much time keeping the ball. It's also again quick passes like this. Boom, there at your box if they get the ball from you. So but I understand it's a good question there. I wouldn't say it's balanced. I wouldn't say you wouldn't call it wing play or you wouldn't call it that they like to operate more centrally. But in most cases he likes to control the midfield. But that doesn't necessarily mean everything goes down the central area. Sometimes they go to the through the flanks. If that makes sense. Afternoon to you too, Chris and David. I hope you're doing well. How are you doing? And thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate that. Um, Sia Domain here says, I believe Gallagher will suit Poch's style. Quick passes. Yes, that's the time I was looking for. Quick passes and forward movement, more vertical passes. They don't delay. That's why I said the more direct. He's not into keeping the ball for the sake of it, like going backwards necessarily or sideways. Very mobile. And right now, Gallagher has more hunger than Mount and has potential to improve on the right coach. That was why I said, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to just jump to the conclusion saying Gallagher will most likely leave because there's a chance, like I said, he fits. It's perfect for Pochettino's preferred approach. But let's see what he does. Domain, I think this is your first time here. If you haven't, please keep dropping the likes on the stream and also do subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, the likes do go a long way. JC, my bro, big up to you. I'm doing well, brother. How are you doing? Always nice to see you. I know you're busy at work. I have a challenge for you. How good are you at memorizing or reciting names and Wi-Fi passwords? Can you name the three candidates who finally shortlisted for the manager? His thing, I would say there's no need in naming the three of them because certainly we've been made to believe that Pochettino is the front runner. But I'll try. One is Vincent Company. Um, the other Mauricio Pochettino. The third one you knew before you asked this question that I'm probably not going to be able to recall his name. He's a Celtic manager. That's all I can say for all called Blue What. So, I can't say his name. Apologies, and I don't want to butcher his name here live on the show. Blue Clouds Media, my bro. Lee! Zion, big up to you, brother. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. He says, good morning to all my neighbors. Good morning, my neighbors. Please don't say the response if you remember that movie. Pochettino is soon to be announced. High pressure football. Yep, that's another thing more. How do I? What's the term I'm looking for? That his approach is known for high pressure football. Are we ready? I think I'm ready for it. I really want to see it. But thank you for finding the time to join in the show, my bro. If you haven't, click the three dots to his name and go check out his channel. Lots of excellent content there. Lots of panelists every day. He has at least 4 panelists on each stream. And he streams how many hours from now? Yep, I think 6 hours, 30 minutes from now. He can always share the link to his channel so you can go check it out. Believe me, you will thank me later. Let's see what else we have here from JC. He says, Gallagher reminds me of youth when we used to tie firecrackers to the shots of some of our classmates and light them. Yeah, and they take off and run out the skelter. But big up to you too. The midfield is still a problem. Get Casado, Lavia, McAllister, and a striker, then sell many players. I don't think we'll be going for all those players. I think if we're getting Casado, we're not going to be going for McAllister. That's what I think. But let's see what the club does. The manager will assess the squad, say what player. Yeah, Postecoglou. I knew there was a cog, something cog in it. Postecoglou, his, I think from what the class said yesterday, that made me learn that he's Australian. Thank you so much for saying that, brother. I appreciate you saying that. Let's see what else we have. Smack the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 45 likes already, which is a good sign, which means we may well get to 100 likes by the time the show ends. So yeah, if you haven't, keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. So what else do we have with regards to the possibility of Pochettino taking over as Chelsea manager? This one here says Mauricio Pochettino now closer than ever to get a Chelsea manager job after new crucial round of positive talks. Tonight, negotiations entering final stages are still waiting for formal contract to be sent, checked, and signed. Pochettino would join in June, not now. I think it wouldn't make sense for him to come in and say, okay, Frank, bye-bye. We appreciate you. I appreciate the job you've done for us so far. We'll take it from here. It will be disrespectful, and they're taking the risk. It must let it run its course. Mauricio Pochettino has provided Chelsea with an assessment of the club squad in preparation for a summer reshuffle as the Argentinian closes in on becoming the next manager, head coach of Stamford Bridge, which was why we said it doesn't make any sort of sense to be in a rush to conclude that one player leaves or the other player leaves. I think, yeah, it's up to him to decide what player he wants to keep and what player he wants to sell. Let's see what else we have here. I believe Pochettino will be successful at Chelsea. Thanks, my brother, at Chelsea Perspective. Much love to you too, brother. I believe so too. I get it. Even without knowing it, most people are judging him based on the fact that he was Tottenham's manager, not really because of his capabilities as a manager. He proved himself, and some are saying it's most definitely a yes man. And when you say that, my argument has always been, what about the fact that he joined Tottenham from Southampton, and at that point you could say his priority must have been to establish himself as a capable manager and wouldn't complain too much. And he works with what he had, a less than impressive squad with little investment, yet he led them to the Champions League final and nearly won the league and a couple of finals, which you could argue if he had better players, he could have won them. So yeah, let's give him a chance. We've had worse managers before who didn't even, you could argue, hasn't even come close to achieving what he's achieved. Phil Sip says, big up to you, coach, big up to you too, brother. I think Poch currently is the best option we can get as a manager. The fact that he develops young talents is a benefit to both the players and the team. I approve 100%. It makes sense. It very much makes sense because we have lots of young players. We don't have too much experience in the sport. So we need a manager as him that will help. He's a manager. He doesn't just field you because of your industry or because how quick you are. He strives to make his players better, and I think that will go a long way. What else we have? Chelsea all the way. Kuchila, if Pochettino doesn't want some players ball is signed who are on 8-year deal, what will happen with those players? Let me say something. Before Pochettino even came close, even before we started hearing that he's the front runner, before we started hearing the negotiations have advanced that all that is left is for Chelsea to prepare the contract, send it to him, he puts pen to paper, and it's done. They will ask him, are you able to work with these players? Yeah, I don't think they would consider signing him without considering the fact they've signed a lot of players with lots of them on 6 or 7 year 8 contract, and he comes in and say he doesn't want them, compounding the club situation. I don't think they will risk that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't think he knows exactly what you're getting into. These are big
yeah,
boys here. They're not small kettle. He would
hmm
obviously know that the incoming players that were probably bought in January and or the summer, those
hmm
obviously will be something that he will work with regardless. Do you know what I mean? But those
yeah,
players that have probably been there over the past couple of years, those are the players that will be looking to get shifted out so that he
hmm
can probably, the keyword is probably, implement new players in the summer to work with those that were bought over the past 2 windows. So
yeah.
the
And the
Enzos, the
implementation
Mudryk,
you're referencing will only be areas where the older players they've been trying to move on. If they move on, then there's a space. They're asking, okay, what player do you want us to bring in to replace
exactly.
this particular player?
So the Hakim Ziyech
Yeah.
is probably the Pulisic is, dare I say, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, maybe
Ziyech.
Kepera,
I
maybe
think
Kepera
he's going to keep.
Gallagher.
Here's the thing. I just remember I said this. I think he's going to keep Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
No, he may well do. He may well do, but
Yeah.
I can see these players being on the verge of leaving than that
hmm
of a Koulibaly that just came in the summer or Raheem Sterling that came in the summer. I can
hmm
see those players. I can see those players leaving. I can see Aspilicueta leaving. You know what I mean? I wouldn't see. I wouldn't be able to see Cucurella leaving this summer or Koulibaly leaving this summer, Benoit Badiashile leaving this summer. I don't see that at all. I don't see
No.
that. I see he
No.
will work with what he has, and or some players that have been there for a few years that hasn't worked out. Then yeah, he will need to bring in fresh blood. So I will call maybe a Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech.
hmm
Those type of players. Those guys will see Kepa. I think Kepa needs to go. I think he will have 1 more year remaining after this season, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe getting a club for him is the best suit. But hey, getting a goalkeeper and a striker, I think Pochettino will look into that, man.
Yep. Thank you so much for that. And Bobby, if you're still there, I want to get your thoughts on this one too. We need to address it. To me, I don't think he'd even get to the level at this at which they are now with the negotiations if he doesn't agree to work with what those players who just joined the club about a few months ago or so. But your thoughts are let's hear from you. You can see the comment on the screen, or would you like me to read it for you?
I think you've more or less alluded to what it says. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Of course, he has to be asked if he can work with the players. And I think one of the things he said was he could work with the players even to the point where he feels that they can challenge for the Premier League. So I don't think that's the bread and butter stuff, isn't it?
hmm
That's basic. I think pre-season for him would be major, major, major important. Getting the players together. I also think signing the contract and watching the team for the remainder of the season is also of major importance for him. I hear what was said about, I mean, people like Badiashile leaving the club is not even a question. I mean, he only came in January, so that's
Yeah.
not happening. And,
Yeah,
it shouldn't
yeah,
even happen
Even
anyway.
Koulibaly, even those players
yeah.
we think
I
some
don't
Yeah,
see
people are
anyone.
calling
I
out.
don't see
Yeah.
yeah.
anyone that was bought on the top goalie. I don't see them leaving
Uh,
anytime soon.
Go
No
ahead,
way.
Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that either. But to me, it's not necessarily because there wouldn't be a want to get rid of them. It's just that
hmm
nobody's going to buy them at the wages they have. Unless Juventus come and say, look, we'll match your wages, come and join us to Koulibaly. That's where it could be tempting to the club because I just don't see it. His
But the
position,
club needs his experience. Thiago Silva
exactly.
isn't
Yeah,
isn't the isn't the isn't the youngest. So without that experience in that back line, as good as they are, we'll have problems. But go ahead with what you were saying, brother.
Yeah, I mean, his position is not really one that he needs to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Aspie, yes. I think Pochettino, although I was hearing something about Thiago Silva wanting to terminate his contract, I think that's just the usual Chelsea rubbish. That doesn't even
Mm-hmm.
make sense. I think Pochettino would appreciate working with Thiago Silva more so than Aspie. I really think so. I think any manager coming in would appreciate working with Thiago Silva. Look, the good thing about Pochettino, I have to say, as shall I say, unconvinced as I've been, is look, of all the candidates, at least he's had a solid number of years working in the Premier League, so he knows the league. He understands English football culture. He certainly understands London culture and the rivalry. He understands all
Mm-hmm.
of that. Would that make him a very good manager? Not necessarily, but the understanding of the application of English football helps a great deal. He understands the pace. He understands everything about it. So that ticks all the boxes there. In terms of how he's going to play, well, a lot of how you play is dictated by the players you have. You can have a certain way of playing, but the players you have may make you do different things. And with the quality of these youngsters at Chelsea, he may start doing a few things that will surprise us. Look, I'm trying to stay positive. I, I think the future's bright if a big if we balance the squad correctly. We don't just offload players for offloading sake. We keep our very, very best and offload the rest. Um, that's just my opinion, and I don't think they will think otherwise. With Vival, Winston Lee, and Lawrence and Stewart around, Chelsea won't offload players carelessly. I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure of that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not that simple. Yep. Let's see what else you have. Big up. Just saying hello to Glenn. Their son. Um, until Chelsea is Poch becomes our manager, it's not going to happen. Except if he's living on a free and he decides he wants to join us. In that case, Tottenham will not have a say. But as long as he still have even 3 days left on his contract, it's not going to happen. Poch left PSG partly because he didn't want certain players like Messi. And the issue that led to him leaving PSG or that led to his struggles at PSG existed before he arrived at the club. So I'm not even go to the extent of arguing why he left PSG. I don't think it makes any sort of sense. I know a lot of people like to reference that as to one of the, saying he failed at PSG. He lost the league to, was it Lens, what club, or Leo? I don't remember. Could be better made, but no worries. Have some stuff to sort out. Thanks for asking. Okay, good. At least we're breathing, and more importantly. So let's move on from this one. I think we're going next to the match review, which is important. Let me start by asking those in the chat this question. Are you looking forward to the game tomorrow? Is it a game you think would win, or do you think would lose? Whatever you think will happen tomorrow, let us know in the chat why you think so. If you think we're going to beat Brentford at home tomorrow, let us know why you think we're going to beat them. If you think we're going to lose tomorrow, let us know why you think we're going to lose. I'm waiting to get your thoughts. To me, um, here's the thing. What I'm really going to say, I'll say, not too sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure what you're going to get out of the squad. And 4 losses on a row, plus I think the losses he started even Frank Lampard before he took over. So you could say it's 5 losses in a row, at least 1 draw and 4 losses in a row. That's not good for any crop again, any sports, any team's confidence. If anything, he will. Um, but right now, you could say the confidence will be very low. But IBC, I'm starting with you. Are you looking forward to this one? Do you think we'll win? Do you think we'll lose? Whatever your thoughts are, you think will happen, you let us know why before we go into looking at the numbers, the team's form, and everything, and the insight. But your thoughts, IBC, do you think we're going to win this one, or do you think we're going to lose?
Don't know. Really don't know. At this
Mm,
point, Brentford have more to play for the remainder of the season than we do.
mm,
If you don't want to fall into the relegation talk. Yeah, we need a
Yeah,
result, but I mean, nah, I don't see, I don't see any energy in the players. I don't see any enthusiasm. I don't see anything. I think we're just gonna go in there and just there. We're here. Chelsea, Brentford. Brentford will do a number on us. The call for a new manager will cry louder. Booze at the bridge. Yeah, I'm not really expecting anything at all. Really not. Not at
mm,
all, coach. No
yeah,
motivation whatsoever.
yeah. And you can say with 3 losses in a row under a new manager, it doesn't help the confidence of the
Yeah,
players.
nah. At this point, again, I'm immune. I
Yeah,
don't have a
I've
feeling.
become numb to it too.
I
Um,
was numb a long time. But
yeah,
yeah, if you ask me, I think Brentford's gonna come and get a win so they can push for what they want to push for in their journey this year, and we're just gonna be yeah.
yeah. It's and here's one thing I will never forget. Before during the period when the club was sold, you said it quite a lot. It's going to be a long season, but I have to be honest. I didn't expect it to be this long. I've learned to follow the punch when it hits. Then I'll deal with it as it hits. I don't try to like resist to make the situation worse. I'll get to Robbie to get his thoughts, but let me see what goes in the chat. I've asked you the question: what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Do you think we're going to win it, or do you think we're going to lose it? Whatever you think will happen, let us know why you think that will be the case in the chat. And just one more topic. We've moved on beyond that, but I'm going to read it anyway. A list of those probably leaving: Hakim Ziyech, Mendy, Pulisic, Loftus, Cheek, Chalobah, maybe likes Mount Felix, Gallagher, Koulibaly, and some young players like Lewis Hall. I think Lewis Hall stays. And remember, I told you this. I don't think the club will sell Koulibaly. It just doesn't make any sort of sense. Draw at most against Brentford. Why do you think he ends on a draw? I want to know. Just elaborate. And we like to keep it interactive here. Let us know what you think will happen tomorrow and why you think that will be the case. I really want to see your thoughts your reasoning in the chat. Kane isn't coming. We know that. I never thought, um, even if I dream in a dream, I see him join Chelsea. In Nigeria, typically in such situation, you say maybe you need to go check yourself for fever. Kane isn't coming to a rival club. We know that, except if on a free. Never say never. It all depends, but I don't think he'd come to Chelsea right now. He would want to go to a place where he'd be assured of winning something that next season because he'd be questioning the Chelsea project at this point. The Spursy fans will bash him if he does. He could care less if really will. But it just where we're at right now, I don't think he comes. Tom Abida Kun, I'm guessing you're a Nigerian brother. Always nice to see brothers here, wherever you're from. Hello to you too. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining the show. And Louis Rivera, morning coach and panelists. Crazy how the media forced us to like Poch. We are dead. I'm alive, man. I don't know, but I'm sure you're alive too. But I get where you're coming from. That might have been a strategy. We don't know.
I don't
Kachila,
think
is
the
it possible
media.
CFC win all remaining games? I'm not even sure. If anything, the only game I can say, sorry, Bobby, just 1 second. The only game I can say we're capable of winning would be the Arsenal game. So, Bobby, go ahead. You wanted to say something.
I was going to say the media didn't force us to like Poch. I think most of us have just accepted the inevitable, and
Mhm.
we always support you know,
The
anything for
club,
the good of the
more
club.
importantly.
Yeah, that's all. After a while, you have to take away your personal preferences and pray this guy does the business. I mean, if he does, then we'll all gladly hold up our hands and say we were wrong not to like him, and he becomes a hero.
Hmm.
Um, Tomorrow's game, coach, I've got to say I'm going to be pragmatically positive. I
Okay.
don't think we're going to lose. I don't. I think we'll either draw or win. Now, why do I say this? I know the motivation was higher in the Real Madrid game, but
Hmm.
the Real Madrid game to me showed the quality of the team, which is much greater than Brentford's, although they have more physicality and more organisation. Now, it's physicality that has been stuffing this team in the Premier League. And Frank Lampard would have had 8 or is it 9 days to do some work with the players. Now, it's not totally enough to do everything, but at least it's better than he's had already. And with no Champions League and that period of break, you would be able to play people like N'Golo Kante and so on. So the best players can actually play this game. Um, I wouldn't be surprised unless I think we play. Is it Arsenal over the weekend?
I'm not sure what date we're playing him. I think the next game. Let me check for you quickly. But go ahead with what you were saying.
So if it's like Arsenal over the weekend, then he might further rest N'Golo for that
Mm-hmm.
game. But definitely there are other players to come in, and I don't think. I mean, we still need to keep ourselves, quite away from the relegation
Yeah, I
area.
think you're correct. Arsenal the following Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday even. So that's
Yeah,
about
like a week
another.
after, nearly a week after. So, right.
Okay, so that's about another 1 week. So you could play N'Golo.
Mm.
I don't think he. I just think there's still the outside chance of getting a European place, albeit maybe Conference League. I think they
Hmm.
should try and go for it. So I'm not sure we should just surrender. I think there's every chance that we could beat Brentford tomorrow.
Yep. It's been. I'm going to say this. I've become numb to the whole thing. I think the game, one game, I think we're going to win. I think we should win just to make sure Arsenal doesn't win the league. It's the game against Arsenal. I hope we beat them, and I believe Frank Lampard understands the importance of Arsenal not winning the league. So he be at his best. Be just play even a draw. I would take. Hopefully they drop a point against Man City tomorrow, and then a draw will also further hurt them. That's how I feel. Kachila, I do know you appreciate KK objectively. Let me just remix that a bit for you as a player. But I have a feeling that he's going on loan to Italy. It's one thing that if the club does that, it's not going to make any sort of sense. And I think Pochettino, his experience enough as a coach at this point, to recognize the importance of keeping an experienced player for that back line. The others are just
Poch
too
will
young.
like him. Poch will like
I
him.
think he would like him, yeah, and probably will help make him better. Yeah, look at every other defender we have there 20, 22. I think the most is 23. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, so it wouldn't make sense not to have an experienced head as him. Draw against Brentford because of lack of goals, which is very possible. We've not been scoring, but we'll look at the inside head to head and everything. Phil Sibbs says, personally, I think the game tomorrow will be a draw. If not, we might get a 1-0 win. We really need this win to boost our confidence since we have the last three difficult fixtures on City, Man U, and Newcastle. Wow. You just reminded me the we have a difficult run to the end of the season, really. Not easy games at all. Newcastle, they're doing well, very well drilled. It's difficult to break down and all that. City, yeah, Brentford will probably win depending on who Lampard puts in the back. If Chalobah and Kukurea play, then we are definitely losing. Add Gallagher in midfield, and we are guaranteed to lose. Wow. That's why I said I want to see your thoughts. I want to get your thoughts. Whatever you think happens, if you think we'd win, let's hear it. If you think we'd lose, let's hear the reason why you think so. And we are at 49 likes. Let's get it to 50. Shoot for 60, 70, 80, and 100. The likes do go along with. Please keep dropping the likes on the stream. Thank you so much for kindly doing that, taking the time to do that. To be honest, if we don't win the game tomorrow, I don't know. After falling out of the Champions League, they should feel the need to prove us to prove us something. Here's the thing. How about the confidence? Losing 3 games in a row, it doesn't help. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Like I said, I've learned to follow the punch. So when it hits, I'll be able to deal, with the situation. I've become numb to the situation, and I don't expect too much. Hopefully they win. I'll take that. We are going to win it. Provided Lampard sets up like we did against Madrid, a tweak with Kanye dropping Kante. Okay, Kante dropping to the middle and replace Kovac with Havertz. Mm, okay, some argument there. Let's see what else we see there. We have here. Bobby, we got beat into submission as fans. We are beating Brentford. What? 144 goes to 1. Okay, I hope that happens. Big up to you too, Michael Obinka. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. And if you're watching, if you haven't, if you want to become a member, the link is pinned at the very top. It's just $2.99, $2.99 a month, and it helps us every month to do a giveaway, a project we call Stay in School Project, where we give something to students alone to support them, and also the channel will gain something from it. But you don't really have to. If you cannot afford it, don't do it. You're still an important member of the community. We need to play a striker, and his name is Aubameyang. I think here's why I think Aubameyang will start tomorrow. Frank will be looking to start experience. I get it. The ideal thing to do would be to give the youth a chance, like Chukwuemeka, Noni Madueke, Lewis Hall, and all of that. But Frank's coaching career is at stake. I don't think it risks too much. I don't think it risks losing 4 games in a row, because if if the more you lose, the likelihood you lose more. Once it gets beyond a single loss, second loss, the possibility of losing a third one is there. If you lose the fourth one, the possibility of losing the fifth one increases. So I don't think it would. I think Aubameyang may well get a chance tomorrow, if that makes you happy, Kim. So, but much love to you. More importantly, here we have Chelsea is the best choice for new players. You earn tons of money and you get many free days during the week. Deep through 2020. Wow. I know where that is coming from, but much love to you. More importantly, people, we've gotten to the half of our target. We have 50 likes, another 50, and we're at 100. So keep dropping the likes on the stream. Hell no, we don't deserve a conference league. I'm glad we don't have any. We won't get any European assignment next season, or maybe commitment next season. That will allow us to focus on the league and making it to top 4, which is going to be very, very difficult. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that. We need a CDM to protect the defense. That's very, very critical, because the struggles we're seeing from those players in our defensive line, you can see the issues they've had stems from the lack of from the fact we don't have midfielders who are protecting them properly, if that makes sense. I think we will beat Arsenal on the weekend. I think that's one game I believe we will win. I like how you spell your name, Dave. I think it's Dave. But that's by the way. Keep liking the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't, as we progress now. Thank you so much for all your support. Sincerely do appreciate that. What else do we have here? Start Mendy tomorrow because Brentford are set piece merchant. Wow. Let's see what Lampard does. But when he talked about the goalkeeping and the goalkeepers, he didn't sound like he has any plans to drop Kepa Arrizabalaga. A great man once said, that's life. Suck it up, buttercup, and move on. That's life. Kante should play DM and free Enzo. We're expecting CDM for creativity. CDM for creativity? Okay. Doesn't make sense. Yeah. Okay, now I understand what you mean. I think Enzo needs to have the independence to get closer to the final third. He's one of the best creators we have on the team right now. Hello, bro. Sameko Chris. I think Chelsea can win tomorrow if we can play Alba and Ziyech. Then we can use Felix as a sub. Okay. Thank you for saying that you're good. Let's look at the inside there. I think I've heard from everybody saying what they believe will happen. This is the game we're talking about here. It starts 11:45 a.m. my time. So let's look. What structure did they? I think usually what we see here is the structure that the team predominantly plays. For Brentford, this here shows what structure. It shows 3-5-2. So that's the structure they play predominantly usually. I don't think we're going to play with a 4-3-3 tomorrow. If we do that,
Coach, I'll catch you later. I've got to head off.
Okay, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
take it
we do
easy,
that,
Bobby.
all right. All right, thank you. If we do that, there'll be so much confusion on the pitch that it'd be easier for them to actually get a result from that game. Brentford to get a result from that game. So why? Let's see what we have. Let's check head to head. 4 wins, 1 win for them, 2 draws, and that 1 win from them is this one right here. The was it which one? 4-1 win. Yep, in the Premier League. We beat the last encounter with them was zeros. We beat them 2-0 in the EFL Cup, in the Premier League 1-0 away, and the FA Cup 4-0 home. That was 2017. But of late, yeah, the last 2 games against them, they beat us 4-1 at home, really. Yeah, I forgot that game was at home, actually. And then 0-0 away. They played differently under, what's his name? I've forgotten his name. I think he's Danish. The Danish manager. They're well drilled and yeah, can put away goals. I don't think so, mate. You want to start Ziyech. But is his opinion? Let's see what happens. Hi, coach. It's been a long time. Usman Isaac, always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Ziyech knows how to control the ball. Okay. Is that your argument there? Let's see what else we have here. Recent form. Wow. Uh, this is really this is hilarious. Really. In terms of recent form, what do we have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably more losses than them. But let's just stay on the 5 games. For the 5 games, we lost 4 in a row, 1 draw. For them, out of the 5 games, they have 2 draws and 3 losses. Okay, that's some pointer to look at. What are the stuff that we have here to look at here? You can say we're worse off. They're not in the best of form, but we're worse than them, if that makes sense. So let's look at the insights here. We're ranked 16th in goals scored per match, 1 goal per match. And they're ranked 7th in goals scored per match, 1.5 goals per match, which means they get more goals than we do. They've been better in front of goal than us, or maybe creating more chances. I think in our case, I think probably they're more clinical than us, given the fact they're scoring goals, because we've created a lot of chances in most cases, especially on the ground, Potter, but we haven't been putting our chances away. We haven't won a match in 7 attempts. Woo! Oh my goodness. That's concerning. In 7 matches, we haven't won a single game. Wow. They haven't won in 6 matches, so it's pretty much balanced, but they're still better off. They're better off in the goal with, again, they score one goal. We score 1 goal per game. They score 1.5 goals per game. So they're still in the 2 departments, in the 2 areas we've compared in terms of the insights here. They're the better side. Yep. They haven't won in 6 matches. We haven't won in 7 matches. And you could argue probably have more losses than 10. It'd be interesting to see where they are on the table. Wow. This is seriously concerning. Participating is more important than winning. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know it's gotten that worse. So the third one, we have lost, our last 4 games. Yep, we know that. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 6 matches, which means we're going to score. But here's where I'm concerned, comparing the fact that, we've lost more games. We haven't won in 7 matches. They haven't won in 6 matches. They're better off. Then they score 1.5 goals per game. We score just a single goal per game, which means they're more likely to score more than us. Yeah. So, and these 2 factors, to me, sounds like, if we're following, because this is statistics, if we're following this stats there, they're more likely to beat us. But I think on paper, we should be winning this one hands down. And I still believe we can win it if Frank makes the right selection. Let's see what else we have here, Coach. Who will be our next manager? Usman Ishak. It's looking, from what we have out there, there's no way to tell if that's a fact. But it's looking, given reports from Fabrizio, Rabbit, Austin, all the journalists there, most of them Twitter journalists, it's looking like it's going to be Mauricio Pochettino. But by the way, we're still looking at this year. Ivan Toney. Yeah, we're going to look at the team's top scorers. Ivan Toney hat-trick incoming, you think? It doesn't really matter who Lampard picks with no tactics. Yet another disjointed display incoming. They said Lampard has spent more time giving letters to players individually than talking tactics. Wow. I'm concerned here. What we've looked at here, the inside is really concerning. People, thank you so much for 52 likes, but we can do better than that. And I'm hoping we do just quickly an evening show today because we want we have to be following the manager hunt story. So let's look at this. Top scorers. Yeah, in that department, yeah, you can say Ivan Toney. We have the top scorers in the Premier League. We have Havertz on our end. Havertz has 6.98. Then that's his overall average rating. As a player. Ivan Toney 7.45 overall rating, better rating. Goals scored this season, 19 goals for Ivan Toney, 7 and 4 Kai Havertz. Assists even 4. He has more assists than Kai Havertz also. Kai Havertz assists one assist, a single assist, and he's actually played he's played one more game, but that's not big of a difference. 19 goals is, you can say, yeah, wow, that's more than twice as much as the total goals Kai Havertz had the whole season. So I'm not sure what to make of it. It doesn't look good, even though on paper, given the players we have, you'd say we're winning this one hands down. But it's easier said than done. They have Ivan Toney, they have Mboma. I don't know their players that well, but I know Ivan Toney is lethal. This Onyeka, let me see if that's the Onyeka I know. Oh, Frank Onyeka. Why don't I know him that much? I don't know him that much. David Raya is a good goalkeeper. And at one point we were looking at him. I wouldn't say excellent. He's a good goalkeeper. But their back line usually consists of Pinnock, me. These are players I don't know that much, but the midfield area, Onyeka centrally, Jensen to his right, Damsgaard to his left, Henry. You can say, that's the wing back position, left wing back, right wing back, Hickey. Yeah, but Toney is the guy I know, and look how many goals he has in the season so far. 19 goals in total. Our top scorer has just 7 goals. Yeah, that's pretty concerning to me. So if you're watching, I want to get your thoughts with regards to the stats we've looked at. What do you make of it? Do you think we'll come close to winning this one? I would say no. It doesn't look it. But it may be a draw. I'll take a draw. A draw would be a good stuff for our confidence. And if we end up winning it, I'll take it. Bobby, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea's poor performance, is very form related. And when something is form related, it can change in a game. So, as I say, I don't want to be too down on things because I think the squad is better than that. Yes, we do have a problem goal scoring, we really do. But even that can change in a game. We haven't been far away. It's just we've been slightly unlucky, and 2, not clinical enough. Who knows what a week can do? I'd like to err on the side of optimism. And if you look at our players, player for player, we have got better quality. Yes, statistics show this, that, and the other. Yes, and it's quite right. The stats don't lie, but the stats can deceive. And it could deceive us into a false sense of inferiority. So I will stick to my guns and say that it's possible that we can win tomorrow. Why not?
Yeah, it's very possible. Like I said, I'm numb to the situation, and I've conditioned myself not to expect too much of the team. So whatever happens, I'll be able to endure. And hopefully, we get a win tomorrow. And if you're in the chart, given everything we've looked at, their top scorer has 19 goals. Our top scorer has 7 goals. Their top scorer rated overall average rating is 7.45. Ours is 6.98. And their top scorer has 4 assists. And our top scorer has just 1 assist. And their top scorer played 30 matches. Our top scorer played 29 matches. So the difference is just 1 game, and it's not that big. Yeah, so I want to get your thoughts. Just give me 1 second. 1 second, I have to take care of something. Um, yeah, I'm just messaging on Roger to make sure he's okay. Okay, let's move on from that one. Let's see what else we have here. Usman, yep, Pochettino. Let's see what we have here. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic, but I've already foreseen Ivan Toney towering over Chalobah and scoring his first goal. Yeah, and no, I didn't visit the Voodoo Witch. I understand. It's easy to speculate to say we're going to lose this game because we've been in a very poor form. But let's look at how many. Let's look at the injury there. Let's see. Are we seeing anything with regards to injuries? Where is it? It should be somewhere here, but they didn't list any. I don't know. Is Koulibaly available? Will he be available? And will I think Thiago Silva most likely available, but
No,
nothing
Koulibaly is not
here,
available.
not available. So most likely Thiago Silva start. That's fine. I think we have at least we'll have a leader in the back line. Let's see what else you have here. You've listened to everything we've heard. Let us know if you're just joining or the beautiful game is just joining. You say what you think will happen in that game, whether you think we'll win, whether you think we'll lose, whether you think it's a draw, whatever you feel like you feel will happen. You let us know why you think that will be the case. Sorry to say, we're not getting any point from Brentford unless you're telling me that all our on-field and off-field issues have been fixed in the last 24 hours. Then we're getting slapped. Bobby, with regards to this comment, let me ask you. Do you think the fact that we're not sure who the manager is going to be at this point? I know we've heard some reports say the players are excited with the prospect of working with Pochettino. Do you think the fact we're still searching for manager and they hearing that and lots of other issues, do you think that will affect the players' performances on the pitch?
Um, who knows? There might be an element of that, and that's why, if it was me, I wouldn't play players like Aubameyang and so on, because I don't think they know they're not going to be at the club next season. So the commitment could be questioned. But those that are going to be at the club would like to give a good showing, and
Mm-hmm.
they know that they're being observed by whoever. And I don't know. Maybe by tomorrow we will know who that whoever is. But I would like to think that Lampard has instilled enough professionalism in the players
Mm-hmm.
to show what they can do. And remember, these players have pride. Everybody has pride in their craft. Nobody wants to be seen to be a bum.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to go there and not perform. I understand the sentiment and I understand the concerns that fans have. But, I find a lot of fan quarters, they express their concern by speaking detrimentally about the club, which I don't see, it's not helpful to anybody. It doesn't
No, it's
really
not.
give, no, it doesn't give a realistic picture of what could happen for us to discuss. And
Mm-hmm.
realistically, there is quality in that team. They showed it. They showed that if they were able to finish, they would have beaten Real Madrid and turned around the Champions League score. I firmly believe that. I think at many a time, especially at Stamford Bridge, they showed they were better. And I think against Brentford, who really all they have on Chelsea is organisation and physicality. And Frank should know that. This is where he earns his keep. Physicality is important. If Ruben is fit, as far as I'm concerned, he plays for that reason in midfield. Because of the physicality, I'll probably even play him ahead of Kovacic, to be honest. Um, And you look out for things like that. And if you and then put Badiashile in defence, there's no Koulibaly. Badiashile plays centre back well with Thiago Silva.
Mhm.
So do things like that. Take care of our physicality, and then deal with the endeavour, and you'll be surprised. We'll probably come out all right. This team is not far away. Yeah, they've been fluffing their chances in front of goal, but they're the kind of team that once they start scoring, they could beat someone 4 or 5 or 6 even. It's that sort of thing that can happen. So
Mhm.
I remember, yeah, I remember a couple of seasons ago when we were having this same problem. We then took apart a couple of teams. Was it 7-0, something like that? Albeit it was only Norwich and all that. But you still have to score the goals. So let's see what happens. I wouldn't like to despair. I would like to err on the sides of positive and say we can beat them.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we beat them. Like I said, I just don't know what to expect. The numbers we looked at say, yeah, they're more likely to beat us. On paper, we're more likely to beat them if you ask anybody. And there's something else I usually like to look at whenever I'm here. They usually have a vote asking people what team they think that will win the game. I don't think they have. Yeah, there you go. It has who will win a 53%. Out of 14,000 and 14,025 votes, 53% thinks that Chelsea will win. 12% thinks it's going to be a draw, and 35% thinks it will be a Brentford win. Yeah, I think it's usually not this close, but because of how badly we've been of late, people see it as saying it's going to be another loss. I hope that's not the case because it's bad. We don't want to end the season on a very bad note. It would take some extraordinary performance during preseason to overcome the bad performances towards the end of the season. Right now, I hope we win. Let's see what else we have to look at in the chat. Let's see the opinion of those in the chat, the most important people. So thank you. The beautiful game. I haven't forgotten our bagging brown envelope. You called it. It will still happen. I just have to figure out a way to do it. But big up, much love to you, brother. Let's see. Their midfield is powerful, and Buemo is more of an inside forward than an out and out striker. If we can control the midfield and stop Tone with this finishing, we can get a win. And that's from Virtual Oath Studios. I appreciate you joining finding the time to join the show. Much love to you. And here, I'm expecting a Chelsea win. Okay, let's see. I demand nothing less. We're Chelsea, and we need to keep the faith. Also, there are positives from the Madrid game. If not of a child about mistakes, we were doing well, and I wouldn't single him out. Actually, I think he did overall. He did well, and if we took our chances, I think we'd have won that game because we had the better chances as the game progressed. But we weren't clinical. Had we taken our chances, which was Madrid wouldn't even defend, they'd be forced to be all out to get more goals, and then we'd have the chance to score more. Yeah, I think plenty of positives from that game. If we're being honest, Lampard is due for a win. We might win. Lamatu, he wants it. I think he would want the win even more than the fans. His coaching career is at stake because excuse me, how are you going to explain being in a relegation battle with Everton? You got fired and Chelsea gave you an opportunity with the sort of players we have, and you lost five games in a row. Uh, yeah, I don't know how you're going to explain that. Even if he ends up winning the rest of the games, that the 4 losses in a row is still a huge dent on his coaching resume, which won't be easy to explain. So I think he would want the win. Probably wants the win more than the fans, because his coaching career is at stake, like I said. And once more, I'm reminding everybody: if you're not a member yet, if you can afford it, it's just $2.99. If you can become a member, soon we'll start all members only show. We're still working on it. I started working on it when I traveled to Texas, but I haven't had the time to complete it. Yeah, I'm seeing some updates here. More updates saying that Mauricio Pochettino is very close to becoming Chelsea manager, and Matt Law is saying He's confident that at this stage that he's quite sure that Mauricio Pochettino will become the next Chelsea manager. It's time to start Datro Fofana, Modric at the front line. I'm going to say this. I've said it before, but because the ideal thing to do would have been to give the young stars a chance. Not the Modric, Datro Fofana, and all that. But the truth is this: Frank Lampard's coaching career is at stake. I don't think he'd risk starting those young players. I think he will be starting experienced heads. Except if there's a clause on his contract that says no matter what happens at this stage, you have to give the young stars a chance to prepare them for next season or to give them the experience they need to be ready for the coming season, which I don't think that will be the case. I think Lamp will start mostly experienced players. He may well mix it up, but we don't know. It's difficult to say what he's going to do at this point. Let's see.
Coach, I have an international call coming in. See if I can
Okay.
keep.
All right. Take all the time you need, brother. This says the midfield is not the most technical, but very strong. The strength does go a long way. They could overpower us, but Kante helps. And like Bobby suggested, maybe starting Ruben Loftus-Cheek centrally. I'm not sure. I am being honest. Yeah, I know you're being honest. I wasn't questioning whether you're being honest or not. And what you said makes sense. Because looking at it, off-field issues can actually, reflect on the player's performance on a match day. I strongly believe that they're humans after all. Like I said, the only point I am expecting to get from the remaining games is against Bournemouth. Road to 40 points. Here we go. Here we go. I still think we're going to beat Arsenal, or at least get a draw from that game to ruin it for them. Here's the thing. It will be strategic to announce the new manager before that game, so that the players will be auditioning for their Chelsea future, especially those that want to stay. But those that have already set their mind on leaving the club wouldn't care that much. But any player that wants to stay, if they hear the announcement that this man, that Mauricio Pochettino will be the club's next manager, then yeah, they will all be on their toes. They will work their behinds off to make sure we get a win because their future will be at stake. It's as simple as that. That's how I see it. Let's see what else we have here. Lampard needs to rotate the team this time. We want to see a total change in the team. That's what we want. But like I've told you, would he want that? He wants a win, which means we'll see a lot more. We'll see a lot of experienced players get a chance, and the less experienced players, or overall, let's just call them the youngsters. His coaching career is at stake, if that makes sense. But to conclude, instead of spending 100 million on Osimhen or Kane, let's get Tone much cheaper. Why do we even have to go for Tone? We have Datro Fofana. I think we're underrating him. And on 2 occasions, or maybe underestimating him, on the 2 occasions that he's gotten the opportunity to be on the pitch for us, he actually did well. The last time he played, he was actually the most active of the frontline players. He was making the most run. He actually got a chance to shoot, but why Graham Potter took him off in that game, I just don't know. And he said Tone much cheaper and can get similar ratio of goals with the right service and better players around him. That may well be the case, but let's see what happens here. We have Summer is where he needs to go, right? So many players need to exist. Lone Army is also returning. The Poch needs all the preseason match to get running. But I would have loved the new manager to come in as soon as possible. Then maybe take the few games that are left before the season ends to get to understand the depth of the squad, the depth in the sense what player offers, what the players offer, and if you understand what I mean. But let's move on from that one. I'm approaching the game with positive mind. That's good to see you. A lot of people. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Mind of a win. Okay, though not 100%, but one game has to be the game changer. It could be this. Win the first one and the possibility of winning, again, you're closer to winning a second. The same thing goes with the loss. If you lose one, losing the second, yeah, the possibility then it becomes closer to win to lose the second one. Coach, do we still need new players apart from a striker, a DM? You could say a central attacking midfielder capable of producing double digits in terms of assists by the time the season ends. Because I think we don't need too many players, just a few signings here and there. Because we have too many players in our club right now, and some of them will still come back on loan, and probably some of them will be capable enough to be part of the team, if that makes sense, in our club right now. So the new coach needs to look into it. And we read something to the effect of Pochettino. He's already assessed the team, and he's already told the club what players he wants to keep and what players he would like to see move on. Jesse says this is an opportunity for us to break all records, so that next time we have a bad season, and there's no way we're breaking this season records. I think it'd be difficult for us to go through what we've gone through between 2022 and 2023. It's been heart-wrenching. It's been heart-wrenching. It's been everything, but yeah, it doesn't. I mean, they've all felt like everything, but it doesn't really feel like we're supporting Chelsea for a while now, given what we're going through, given that we're not where we should be. The coach need to look into the players from August, January to January before selling or buying in. I think probably they still sell a lot of players in the summer. Has there been anything on Reece James? I thought he kind of struggled against Real Madrid after grabbing his hamstring again. It's still bothering me. We haven't heard anything, but I think he'll be fine. He's had a few days to rest. Biggie B, good day, Coach. Good day to you too. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. We do need Victor Osimhen right now. He needs to play one more season before going for him. You need him to play one more season before. If you really need him, as much as I don't think, I don't know. I think maybe Pochettino can get the best out of him, but I didn't want him on the ground. But if you want him, you better go for him right now. If you leave him, thinking you're gonna go for him next season, you may well not. You may well see him wearing a United shirt by the time you turn around to see what's going on. We do need Victor Osimhen. I think I've read that. You probably typed it twice. And is Harry Kane a good option as number 9? He's an excellent option. But just don't hold your breath. It's not going to happen. Except, like I said, even if he's a free agent, even at that, I don't think he'd come to Chelsea. He wouldn't want to risk his spot. I know he hasn't won so much there, but he wouldn't want to, risk his legacy or his relationship with the club by joining Chelsea, even if he's a free agent. But right now, he's not a free agent. And according to Fabrizio Romano, I think United they've already started making the move to sign him. And I think United. But what else? Something else we heard is that Daniel Levy isn't willing to sell him to any English club. He'd be more inclined to sell him to a non-English club. But let's see if that happens. I think Harry may well push for a move to Manchester United. But coming to Chelsea, I don't see that happening because Spurs still have a say. Tottenham still have a say on where he goes because his contract, he still have. I'm not sure of the duration, but he's not a free agent. Let me just put it that way. Poch likes a target man like Mane and Kane, or does he like a striker whose name ends with a his thing? I don't. I'm not quite. I'm not too sure what sort of striker he plays with. He's played with Kane, and Kane is not just a stereotypical striker. He's played with Mane, and Mane is not just a typical striker either. So that begs the question whether we've heard that the club we're interested in signing Victor Osimhen, whether Osimhen will be a signing that will make sense should we decide to get him for whoever the next manager is, which is looking like it will most likely be Mauricio Pochettino, and I don't think so. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, people, and also become a member if you haven't. That will go a long way for the channel. We have 59 likes. Let's get it to 60, and we'll be rounding off soon. I think we're running out of topic today. There's nothing more to talk. Hit the like button, people. Let's see what else we have. David Dr. Fofana changed his name to DD Fofana. It will be all good. Really? Why are you suggesting he changes his name? I don't understand. But that's, by the way, people keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 59 likes. Let's get it to 60 and shoot for 100 as soon as possible. Thank you so much for all the support. The likes will go a long way. Let's see what else we have here. Our Broya to Brojan. Yeah, keep doing that. But Harry Kane will not happen directly for Spurs because Daniel Levy's life will be a living hell. If he does, Manchester United is more likely. Yeah, that's a solid argument right there. He's not going to come to Chelsea, except as a free agent, which means he has the right to join whichever club he wants to. Even at that, I still don't think he'd come to Chelsea. Let's see here. We don't need Kane anymore. He's off a go right now. Okay, I'm not sure I understand that, but that's, by the way, we just need a good finisher. I think that's the case. Let me see if anything else has popped up that I'd want us to talk about before I come back to the chat again. Just give me a second. We are running out of topic here. There isn't much to talk about. Let's see if there's anything new. We talked about Felix, whether the club should go for him, whether it be a signing that will make any sort of sense. And I think it wouldn't make sense to go for Joao Felix right now, given there are other areas of priority that we should be looking to sign players, the defensive midfield area and a striker. The question now is what sort of striker should the club be looking at? Yeah, it's I'm not going to get into that. I'm not sure right now. It depends. I don't quite. But given the Mane side of Mane who played, I think Mane played under Pochettino at Southampton, and at Spurs it was Harry Kane, and those are not just stereotypical strikers. So maybe he would want to play or have a Singham come to Chelsea, but let's see. He's not going to come for cheap anyway. So I'm looking for any updates. This says, look, this might be me in the neck in terms of the candidates, but I am fully have to believe that Mauricio Pochettino will be the next Chelsea manager. That is Chelsea Dodgers quoting Matt Law and London is Blue podcast. Anything else? Let me see if there's anything new here with regards to that. I think it's going to happen. In 2 hours ago, that's another news there for Joao Felix. Chelsea are weighing up his future. To me, that sounds like they're not too sure right now. Anything else in the chat? Let's see what else you have here. I forgot who was Eugene's top choice of the striker position. I think who was he naming? Who was the player that Eugene was naming? Oh my gosh! Is it? I'm not sure. I hope I'm not mixing the names. Is it Mwani? Is it Kolo Mwani? Yeah. Oh, you already have it there. He was mentioning Mwani. Some people in the Twitter sphere were voicing concerns with regards to his finishing ability. But he's still young. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me find out his age. But I don't think we need him because getting Mwani is no different from Nkunku, actually. Nkunku is a 10 who usually plays as a 9. But let's see Kolo Mwani's age. Just 1 second. Kolo Mwani age. He's 24. He's still very young. And I don't know him too well to say what position where he plays his preferred position. Yeah, as a forward, and once they use the time forward, it simply means that person is not strictly not really a striker. You could call them hybrid. I would take him at Chelsea because he's good on the ball, um, quick feet, and can dribble quite well. But he doesn't differ that much from Nkunku, really. Um, yeah, Rando Colomwani Kashan, the New York guy. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. If you're in the chat, anything else you want us to talk about? Otherwise, we'll call it the day, and probably we'll have an evening show because we'll be following the manager hunt to be sure we're up to date with the story. We don't have to wait till the blue morning show in case the announcement, if the announcement is made during the day or during the evening for some people there. So yeah, nothing else. We've looked at everything. I wouldn't call him. I wouldn't call him a striker, really, the way he operates from the little I've seen. But maybe I need to research it even more. Uh, the Prince is here. What did the Prince say? The Prince says, "Big up everyone. Please like the channel. It's important. Likes are very important. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. He's a striker. Yes, a hybrid, which was why what I saw online says forward. Uh, so we need. I think we don't know. I think you could say he's more suitable to what I know. I recall so far with regards to how Mauricio Pochettino likes to set up his team and the sort of players he likes to field. Uh, yeah, I think he suits the way he plays. But the question is, do we need him when we have Nkunku? We still have Kai Havertz. I'm not sure what happens. So with that, I think people will come to the natural end of the show. He said if you have any other stuff you want us to talk about there, we're lacking items to discuss right now. But I think it's better we end it here. There isn't much to talk about. Maybe during an evening show, there will be more to talk about. And let's just run through everything else we've talked about today and call it a day. We talked about Chelsea using the language at UCS, where to me what shows me they're not too sure what to do with Joao Felix, because this reads Chelsea are weighing up Joao Felix's future with incoming head coach Mauricio Pochettino set to be key to whether the club opts to keep him. But for me, I think even beyond that, it's a signing that you could say, given that we need to balance the book and given that we have lots of people who can play in that position, yeah, I don't think it will be a priority for the club right now. And some say maybe keep him. Even the comment there, the tweet there did mention they are considering whether to move for him again and could opt to extend his loan spell. My what I think is this: if ever we go to Atletico Madrid and tell him we'd like to keep him for one more season on loan, except if it would be with an obligation to buy with a certain price attached to it, that's the only time they'd say yes. But if we go to them and say we just want to keep him for one more season, then we'll decide what to do after that. I think they'd say no, because there are no shortage of clubs willing to sign him on a permanent. He's a good player and he's still 23. And like I've said before, the fact is, it's been there. We've been hearing his name for a few years now. When you hear his name, you think, oh, he should be in his late 20s or so, but he's just 23. Let's move on from that. In this one, we talked about Gallagher. We're hearing that Dortmund are interested in signing him, and that the club valuation of Gallagher is around 50 million euros. Not a bad one, but I think he stays. But because if you ask me, I'd say he's the perfect Mauricio Pochettino type of player. And yeah, we talked about Pochettino himself. It's getting closer and closer. We're just waiting probably for an announcement. According to Fabrizio Romano, he's just waiting for the contract from the clubs from the club side, so he can put pen to paper, and it will be a done deal. And he's also, it says Mauricio Pochettino has provided Chelsea with an assessment of the club's squad in preparation for a summer reshuffle as the Argentinian closes in on becoming the next permanent head coach at Stamford Bridge. Yep, that's where we're at with that one. I'm just going to say hello to DJ, and then we'll call it a day. DJ, unfortunately, you joined us very late, and we're rounding off the show. Big up, Kuchila. Big up to you too, my bro. And thanks once again for becoming a member yesterday. That will go a long way. I appreciate that. Somebody asked of you in the chat, I think it was Vivel asking of you why you're not on the panel. I told him you're probably at work and busy. You usually join Saturdays or whatever time allows. Bobby and everyone in the chat, I will hope we can keep Felix at least for another loan. Like I said, except if it is if the contract, if the loan contract will be with an obligation to buy, then I see Atletico Madrid willing to let that happen. Yep. With that, we come to the end of the show. I want to say thank you to Bobby, who's on the panel for me, and thank you to IBZ, who also was on the panel. Thank you to DJ for joining. Kishan, the New York guy, big up to you, brother. The priest, big up, brother, and a Contender FC, big up to you, brother, and Michael Obinka, and Domain, Sias Domain, big up to you for finding the time to join in the show. Who else do we have here? Glenn, big up to you. Jesse, the Bluetooth game himself was here. Chimera, Virtual Oath Studio, and everyone else that was here. DJ, thank you so much. With that, we've come to the end of the show. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.